today we're going to be learning how to make a pen. In order to do that, obviously, you're going to need some wood. You sell it in these packs, or you can just find someone, buy it yourself. You can find wood, cut it yourself, do whatever. Just get some wood. You're going to, with this wood, cut it to size of whatever core your pen is made out of. Each kit comes with exactly what you need, so you don't need to worry. Once you cut it to size, you drill a hole. You affix that piece of copper in there with some super glue. You're going to trim so it's nice and flush using a barrel trimmer or just a sanding belt, whatever. You just need to make sure that it's nice and flush. You're going to turn that. Got some chisels. Got some chisels. Got a lathe. You really don't need much. You need I like these carbide tipped ones that easy to change out, good for learning. They always are sharp. You don't need to sharpen them yourself. Then upgrade to something else after. You're gonna sand. They sell these nice kits, just plug and play. You just go right through it. And then we're gonna finish using super glue. So I took my blank, I cut it to size, and I marked where the two pieces connect, so I know how to mount it on the lathe. All right, so for this part, I just use my drill press. And you want to make sure that it goes down the middle as best you can. You can actually mark it. All right, so what I find actually works the best right here is just taking your nice fresh tube, roughing it up a little bit. That allows the glue to stick just a little bit better when you put it down this hole. Pop her in there, put a little bit on the copper pieces themselves. Don't get this on your hands. You'll just stick directly to your freaking skin. And then the paper plate makes it so you don't really need to worry, but you can be a little generous with the glue. And then you let it sit. All right, so the point of this step, the barrel trimming step, is that when you put in your copper tubing, you're gonna actually get a little bit of an overhang of wood, and you want it to be nice and flush. So using the right size barrel trimmer, what you can do, you just go down until you trim off all that excess wood. That's genuinely all there is to it. You'll also find out right here if you didn't put enough glue in. And you'll always know when you've hit it because the copper tubing will be just a little bit shinier. So not only is it raining, but this is the hardest part to actually show you because you're just gonna need to get a feel for it. But basically, to load it up, you just need your 7mm pen mandrel, a live centering cone on the other end of it. You're gonna put it up to a decent speed that you feel comfortable with. Make sure your tools are sharp. There's a whole bunch of videos online showing you proper techniques. All of them will tell you to wear eye protection, and my recommendation, honestly, is some of these hardwoods have more toxic byproducts when you're inhaling the sawdust, right? So just wear a mask. It's not hard. It's just gonna help you in the long run if you do this a whole bunch. And other than that, I'll kind of go through a little bit of the process. Yeah, so once my pieces are round, then I usually just switch to like a finer chisel with the carbide tip. This is just a little bit easier for me, at least. This is how I learned to do it.
once you get a rough shape that you're happy with, just it's time to sand. So always remember, you can't add anything. You can only take it off. So it doesn't hurt to go bigger and sand down to what you want, especially if you're not confident. Say you're using like a more porous wood and you're worried that you're too close to the copper tubing. So just be cognizant and don't waste your time. This is the style of sanding paper that I use. It just comes in a nice pack. I have a few of them. And it, again, just makes it so that you don't need to think. So you can always get a consistent finish and you know exactly what you need to do. So once you're done sanding, what you're gonna do is just go with the grain. Because the entire time you sanded it on the lathe, it was against the grain. And over time, they'll just look like scratches. So this way, it kind of almost makes cross hatches, and it doesn't make the individual little scratches so noticeable. Because again, now it looks like it's with the grain. This is the part where the pen actually comes alive. You're gonna put on your finish, and you're gonna see it go from this to this. And we're gonna repeat that a few times until we're confident that we have probably 3-ish minimum layers. That's what I like to go for. That kind of just ensures that little scratches or anything won't really show up. So funnily enough, on the last layer, sometimes what I like to do is just with the finest sandpaper you have, just go at it one more time, just to get it nice and smooth and consistent. Do your little with the grain trick one more time. Make sure that everything's all nice and lined up. And then we're just gonna give it one last coat. With now, and we have to decide what end we want to be the tip. Usually I do that as I'm actually turning it, but sometimes at the end things happen and you're not really quite sure, but I've already decided on an end for this guy. What I have in front of me is excessive. It's called a pen press, but at this point now we're just gonna put it all together. So we have our individual pieces. We've already identified what is going to be the front of our pen. So I'm gonna stick them in there. You don't need to use this. You can honestly just use any clamp you got lying around. I just bought this because I make a lot of pens. So we do that. So that part's good. After that, I'm gonna want to put in the actual twist mechanism. So using the same idea. One more. I'm gonna press her in. Make sure it's nice and straight and go right to the indentation anymore, and you're gonna ruin your pen. This is the actual ink. I just throw that in there at this point and I go as far out as I need. I'm gonna make sure that when it's out, it actually is out. All right. So at this point, we're going to pop the center band that we have decided. I'm taking it from this kit. All right, slightly fumbled getting this thing out of the bag. We're gonna put that in there. We're going to pop the other end on. We're gonna make sure that our pen press is further enough away. We don't wanna scratch anything, so we're just gonna put a little piece of cloth there, and then we have to decide where this guy sits. I've decided right there. And we're gonna do that one more time. Let's get a little closer. And make it nice and tight. Realizing there's some glue on there, that's fine. It's an old kit. And that's our pen. Yeah, so this is what it looks like when it comes out. It's a nice gift. You can make it sentimental, like this one's from that tree outside of my house. I also made one for my neighbor when a tree fell through their car windshield. But
you can do whatever you want. There's a whole bunch of different styles, a whole bunch of different little things you can play around with, like epoxy, whatnot. You have a whole bunch of different woods. It's just really fun. And if you want to get into wood turning, I genuinely recommend doing pens.